mindfulness session. Hope everyone's okay today, as well as can be. So yeah, those of you, well, I know that the people here today, you've all done this before, but those of you that are watching the video, maybe you've done them from the first to this one, but we focus on a lot of things with mindfulness. We focus on the here and now and making this a safe place for everybody. So making this an inclusive space for everybody, which is in the nature of inclusive skating, obviously, but not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. And I really want to encourage you to be as you are in this moment, and whatever comes out of it comes out of it. I don't want you to put any pressure on yourself to be a certain way, to feel a certain way. I just want you to try and be fluid with whatever comes up. Yeah, and just making this a safe space for everybody. I'm just going to open up, for those of you that are with me now, I'm going to open up the chat box. So if anyone wants to type in anything, we are going to be doing, obviously we do a lot of sharing. You can do your sharing if you're with me live. You can do it with somebody that's in the room with you. You can do it internally. You can write it down in a journal, or you can share it in the chat box with me. And if you're watching this as a recording, you can do all of those things except share it in the chat box with me, because obviously it's not a live session. But everybody's welcome to the live sessions. So if you wanted to come to one at any point, we're here every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So anytime you wanted to come, and you can just mute yourself as well. You can also have your video off, so you don't have to be seen or heard at all if you don't want to. But if you want to join us, then you can do them. Okay, lovely. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to just, as we've started our mindful minute, so we're just going to start off by connecting with our breath, because that's our anchor point. We use our breath as our anchor point. And I can see some of you are sitting on the sofa, some of you are sitting on the floor, on a yoga mat. If you want to, I guess for mindfulness, you might want to sit in a chair, just to be sat upright and comfortable. If you're comfortable being on the floor, then you can do that too. If you need to move around a bit, because I know that last week we had some feedback from some of you that you find sitting still for a long period of time a challenge, then feel free to move around if you need to, or you can use the challenge to try and overcome it each time. So don't be downhearted if you can't sit still all the time. If you're the type of person that needs to move around, you do your thing. But if you want to see if you can last a little bit longer each time, we're going to use the breath and the words that I'm using to try and distract your mind onto what I'm saying, as opposed to what your body's doing. But later on in this session, we will be focusing on mindful movement of the body as well. So I'm going to encourage you to move your body and connect with the movements of your body. So for now, wherever you're sitting, I guess you could do this standing as well if you wanted to. I want you to make yourself as comfortable as you can on the surface that you're on. So sitting up nice and straight, bringing your hands or your arms down into your lap, either sat like this or like this, however you feel comfortable. And we're just going to take a few moments just to connect with the breath, and I'm going to talk you through this. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and feel free to open them at any point you want to. So we're going to start off by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth or the nose. And maybe you've never thought about that. Do I breathe out through my mouth or my nose? You can mix it up a bit. Practice doing both. See what works for you. I think I prefer breathing out through my nose for meditation. When I do Pilates, I breathe out through my mouth. But it's up to you guys. Just get a little connection, or become mindful of how you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth or the nose. And just start to slow the breath down. So start to create long, deep breaths in through the nose and slow releasing breaths out. And with each out breath, we're going to focus on allowing our shoulders to become heavy. So each out breath, we're going to focus on allowing the shoulders to become heavy. So any tension built up there, we're just going to let it go. We're going to breathe it all out. And then breathing down to your sit bones if you're sitting, or your feet if you're standing, breathing down onto your mat or your sofa or the floor. Noticing the connection, the base of your spine or your feet. Maybe you want to move around a bit to notice that connection, maybe wobbling from side to side. That's absolutely fine. That movement might be what you need to feel that connection. And then we're going to focus on the in-breath. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. And as we breathe in, we're going to lift and lengthen up through the top of our head. And I want you to imagine with each in-breath, so obviously we're going to be breathing out as well, but we're going to focus on the in-breath. So each in-breath, we're going to feel like we're lifting up, lighter and lighter and lighter, almost like a balloon or a hot air balloon, lifting your head up. And if you need to move your body to feel that lift, then you can do that too. And then we focus on each out breath, melting down, just releasing those shoulders down to your sit bones, down to the floor. Breathing in, lifting and lengthening through the top of the head. And breathing out, shoulders down. Lovely. Okay. Let's gently open our eyes again. Good. So have a little move around if you need to. Sometimes my legs get a bit numb when I sit in one position for too long. And we can just wobble the legs out if you need to, or move the arms and the neck. Excellent. So we're going to focus on the feeling of the breath now. So we use some exercise to feel the breath, connect with the breath a bit more. So we're going to notice the temperature in and the temperature out. We're also going to notice the rise and fall of our body. So what it feels like in our body to breathe, noticing how our body responds with our chest and our stomach. And again, if you want to change positions and sit up, or even if you want to lie down, you can lie down and do this as well. It's entirely up to you. And then once we've done that, we might focus on some of the sounds around us as well. So becoming mindful of the sounds around us. And as we know that mindfulness is bringing conscious awareness to a given moment. So this moment, it's bringing conscious awareness to the task that you're doing that maybe you wouldn't normally pay attention to. So we're going to bring conscious awareness to the temperature of our breath. Okay, so closing your eyes again, grounding through the base of your spine and lifting and lengthening up through the top of your head. And just noticing the breath coming in through your nostrils and either out through your nostrils or your mouth. It's up to you. In through your nostrils. Really feel that breath coming in and releasing that breath out. And noticing that your breath is maybe cool as you breathe in that outside air, or the air outside your body, and warm as you breathe out, as it leaves your nice warm body. And just think about the journey that breath's going on, where it's coming from in your room, in your body, through your lungs, and out of your body, nice and warm. Just think about that cycle as you do that. And then we're going to notice how our body responds and moves. So place one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And we're going to focus on the rise and fall of the breath. So feel your hands on your chest, feel your hands on your stomach. And first of all, just acknowledge what that feels like for you. So acknowledging what it feels like to place your hands on your clothes or your skin. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? Do you feel comforted? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel calm? Do you feel safe and happy? Do you feel sad? Does it make you feel lonely or loved? There's lots of different responses, and all of them are right. Whatever you're feeling is right for you. So just noticing the touch of your hands on your body and how it makes you feel. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, and just connecting with those. And then we're going to take a big breath into our hands and notice how our body responds to our breath. Where does our body rise up? On the chest or the stomach? Can you control it? Can you breathe into the stomach more than the chest? And as you breathe out, just notice the body resetting again. Good. Bringing your hands down by your sides and just wriggling your fingers, and we'll just move the legs around again. So we'll do these in little stages. We'll do all of this in little stages and just bring mindful awareness to what we're doing. Yeah? So we're going to keep with these exercises, but we're also going to keep moving as well, because I don't want anybody to feel like they're getting stiff or that they need to move more in each meditation or mindfulness exercise. So finally, before we move on, we're going to use our ears and our minds to observe the sounds around us. And I think we did this on the first week, and some of you really noticed sounds that you hadn't noticed. You've been sat in your room the whole time, or outside or wherever you are, and suddenly you can hear things that you couldn't hear before. So we're going to have a go at that. So again, closing your eyes, and I find closing our eyes is the best way to do this. If you want to open them at any point, you can. And feel free, if your legs are getting achy and you want to stand up, you can definitely do this exercise stood up. You can definitely do it lying down as well. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so we're going to close our eyes again. Connecting with the breath in through the nose and releasing out through the mouth or the nose. So let's just start to listen to our breath to start with. Let's connect with the sound of our own breath. And if you're in the room with somebody else, maybe you're trying to focus on your breath alone. So you can hear theirs as well, but you're focusing on your own breath. Maybe you're noticing sounds around you, but we're just going to focus it back in on our own breath. In through the nose and either out through the mouth or the nose. And I'm going to leave you for a few moments just to listen to the sound of your breath. Notice whether the sound of your breath is loud or soft. Maybe you can hardly hear it at all, and that's fine. Maybe you want to deliberately hear it, so you breathe deeper. Maybe you want to breathe really quietly. And then we're going to draw our attention to the sounds outside of our house or our flat or wherever we're staying at the moment. Listening outside of our home, maybe out on the street or in the garden. Noticing, listing those sounds in your mind. And then drawing your attention to inside your room. Can you hear anything other than the sound of your breath or the person's breath that you're with? What other sounds can you hear? And then connecting back with your breath again. Whatever sounds you hear around you, I want you to focus your attention back to your breath. And then slowly moving the fingers and toes, circling the shoulders and opening your eyes again. Lovely. You guys all looked a lot more, those of you that are with me today looked a lot more calm and relaxed and focused that time round. Sounds such a good one if you can really focus your attention, whether you've got really good hearing or whether you've got, your hearing's impaired slightly. Sound is really good and vibrations are really good. So even if you can't hear something clearly, sometimes you can feel sound, the beat of a drum or the vibration of something really loud. So that's a really good one I find is quite a calming way for me to meditate and be mindful. And I noticed that some of you today were a lot calmer when you focus on the sound of something around you. Yeah, it's really, really quite soothing. So well done. I struggled to hear anything inside my room, and then I realized the hum of my computer. I could hear the hum of my computer. So that was an interesting one. Okay, we're going to move on to, oh, I've got someone sharing. Yeah, if you want to share as well, Mary, if you want to share anything with us today, feel free to. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Jenny. Awesome. Yeah, we'll take a moment and we can discuss what we heard, what we felt. I'd be interested to know how you guys, if you wanted to share, how you guys felt about the touch of your hands on your body. How did that make you feel, if you can remember? Or if you don't want to share it in the chat box, at least have that conversation with somebody that you're with. Or maybe you want to write it down. But yeah, that feeling, whether it was a good feeling or not such a good feeling, and you don't have to share it at all. Yeah, sound is very calming. And yeah, I think, especially if you're focusing in on it and just listening, nature, sounds of nature is really calming as well. Sometimes, you know, music can be calming, but sometimes just really mundane things like the traffic, the birds, you know, the things that we don't necessarily listen to, but we just take for granted when we tune into them and we actually realize, and then we're aware of the things that are around us. And I think that can bring us into a calmer state because we're more aware of our presence within our environment. So it brings us to the present moment, which again can reduce any it reduces us worrying about the past or being, you know, feeling bad about things that we may have done in the past or worrying that we haven't done something right, and also stops us from thinking too much about the future, which of course we can't control either of those things. You can't control things that happen, and you know, the future isn't here yet. So it's a good thing that we can just, listening to sounds can really bring us back to our reality. And the majority of the time, our reality is a place of safety, a place of you know, control, and a place that we can feel secure in. So that's a really good one to use. And yeah, so you could feel the warmth of the hands on your chest, and that was nice. Yeah. So one of the reasons why I like to use the connection of the hands on the body is because touch, especially with other people, human touch, cuddles, but it doesn't have to be from other people. You can do it from yourself as well, self-massage, but especially if you're mindfully touching your body in a calming way, especially connecting with your breath, it releases something called oxytocin, which is considered to be the love drug or hormone in our body. It's the chemical that our body releases. So when we're releasing oxytocin, it's the opposite of adrenaline. So it's the opposite of fear and anxiety. And it's really important, especially at times like this, when sometimes we're feeling a bit uncertain about what's going on with our lives and in the world, and etc., etc. So being mindful of our bodies and our surroundings, and you know, I'm not saying ignoring what's going on in the world, but actually just focusing on our here and now. Often we're in a place of safety, and we can use our own self-touch to release those calming thoughts and feelings or chemical in our body that will help to calm ourselves down and reduces stress, reduces anxiety, which of course all has implications of our immune system and things like that. So actually being calm and feeling calm and doing the opposite to feeling anxious is what's going to keep us safe and well and all those good things. So it's not a miracle cure, and it's not something that happens overnight, but it can be really helpful. It can really help just allow your body to do natural things, and you can trust your body to do natural things to help you feel better within yourself. So I'm glad you acknowledged that. That felt nice for you. And it's often a way that I will just calm myself down or check in with myself and just start giving myself a bit of a cuddle, a bit of self-love. So that's what I'd like to share with you. Okay, we are going to move on that note, we are going to move on to our thoughts, our feelings, being mindful of those. And we've been doing this each week with our internal weather. So we're asking ourselves what our internal weather is in this moment. So being really mindfully aware of how we're feeling. And again, some of you might want to communicate those feelings. You might want to say you're feeling happy, you're feeling sad, you feel excited, you feel really safe, you might feel very optimistic, you might feel scared, you might just feel calm. But we can also do it by thinking about the weather and how the weather affects our mood and how we might think of our thoughts and emotions as the weather. So we can do that now, and I'm going to use my bowl. I used it last week, and again, feel free to use the sounds of the bowl, the vibration of the bowl to help soothe you, help calm you. And we spoke about sound vibrations and how those have an effect on the body. So we're going to use this bowl. I'm going to sound the bowl at the beginning of the minute, because you're going to have a minute to think about how your body and mind and emotions are feeling, how you're feeling inside. So we're going to give you that minute. And if your mind wanders off to a place and you start feeling, I don't know, a sunny day or a stormy sea or I don't know, a tropical rainforest, or maybe you're just sat in your garden. Maybe it's the weather that's outside at the moment. But I want you to think about it in terms of how you're feeling inside, okay? And allow whatever comes up to come up. Don't try and control it. And maybe nothing will come up, and that's fine too, because we can keep practicing this. So, sitting in a position that you feel most comfortable in, either on the floor, either on the sofa, lying down if you want to, sitting in a chair, and just closing your eyes, connecting back with your breath, the sound of your breath, the temperature of your breath. And if you want to place your hands on your stomach or your chest, you can do that too. And I'm going to sound the singing bowl to mark the start of the minute. And in that time, you're going to ask yourself, what is my internal weather like today? If my thoughts, feelings had a weather forecast, what would it be? And then I will sound the bowl again to mark the end of the mindful minute. Okay. Okay, so slowly starting to open your eyes. There we go, lovely. So how did we get on today? Feel free to share if you want to, what your internal weather is today. Feel free to journal it, write it down, or share it with the person that you may be at home with now. And I'll share with you mine. It took me a while to come up with anything. Nothing was really coming to my mind. Actually, I was just present in this room, sat with you guys on the screen in front of me, listening to the sound of the bowl, which felt quite calming and soothing for me. And then eventually I was in a room that I don't recognize. In my mind, I was in a room that I don't recognize, and I was looking out at weather. So the weather wasn't, I was indoors, but I was looking out at a very, very sunny, it was a forest actually, probably in line with where I've been today, but it was a very, very sunny forest, but I wasn't in it. I was looking at it. So who knows? The mind goes to strange places, but that was what my internal weather was. So a sunny forest that I wasn't actually in, I was just looking at. So there we go. So yeah, feel free to share with people that you're with now, or write it down, and those that are live with me can write it in the chat box. Oh, goodness. I've just read your message, Jenny. I won't read that out loud, but those in the group can read it, I guess. You do whatever you need to do, Jenny. Yeah, okay, Mary, I hear that. And again, do whatever you need to do as well. Just honestly, this is your session. You take it how you want to, exactly how you want to. Okay, well, on that note, ha ha ha, very funny, Helena. Love it. On that note, we are going to do a bit of mindful movement. So I'm going to move my my laptop up a bit, and we're going to come to a standing position. And what we're going to focus on is the movement of our body. Let me turn this way. There we go. Back a little bit. Okay, can everybody see me? Am I clear enough? Yes, okay. Just take that down a little bit. And that way a little bit. Okay, all right. So we're going to focus on the movement of our body, mindful movement of our body. So first of all, just shake everything off. Give your body a nice big shake out. Standing with your feet about hip distance apart. So, you know, a good wide stance, so we feel nice and secure on the surface that we're standing on. And all we're going to do, and I'm going to guide you through it, I'm going to talk you through it, is just notice the movement of our body. Notice how our body feels when we're moving. Maybe noticing the temperature of the air around you, noticing any challenges that come up, noticing it feels really good or not so good. So it's just about being aware of the movement of our body as a whole. So we are going to close our eyes again. I know we close our eyes a lot in this, but it's important to focus inwards with mindfulness. I want us to focus inwards, unless, of course, the task is a visual task where we might want to look at different objects and shapes and colours and be mindful of those things. But at the moment, we're focusing inwards on ourselves. Okay, so arms by your sides, and if you're with somebody else in your room, make sure that you've got enough space around you that you're not going to knock into each other when you move your arms around. And likewise, objects and things in your room, make sure that it's nice and clear that you're not going to knock anything over. Okay, so arms by our sides, and we're going to close our eyes. So we're going to start off by connecting with the breath again. In through the nose and out through the mouth or the nose. And this time, as we're standing up, I want you to notice the length that it travels through the body. So really be mindful of the breath, moving up and down as we breathe in and out. And just think about the breath, maybe drawing lines inside your body, up and down. Noticing the temperature of the breath as you breathe in, and the temperature as you breathe out. Noticing your feet on your mat. And if you're sitting still, you can totally do this exercise sitting down still, because you can move in your chair. That's absolutely fine as well. So noticing your feet on your mat, your bottom in your chair. Just getting a sense of grounding, feeling solid foundations on the floor. And just being mindful of the temperature of your feet. Are your feet warm or are they cold? Is the surface that you're standing or sitting on, is it warm or is it cold? Just moving your legs a little bit. Side to side, bend the knees, each knee, maybe swaying side to side. And just noticing where your weight is distributed over your body. Notice how easy or difficult it is to balance. Maybe you can get a nice sway going through the body, side to side. Noticing any creaks in your floorboards. I've got a few as you do this. Good. And then finding a centered position again, back to the center. And just noticing where that center point is for you. Using the breath to lift your body up with each in-breath. Relax the shoulders with each out-breath. And then we're going to focus on moving the arms. So we're just going to take the arms up to our sides and all the way up to the top of our head. And then back down again. Really simple movement. Maybe you want to try it with one arm and then the other arm. You don't have to take it all the way up. You can take it halfway, and if you need someone to help you with this exercise, then you can do that. So bring your arms back down again. And notice any sensations in your fingers, in your arms and your hands. Now you've stopped moving. And then we're going to do it again. Bring the arms up. Feel the heaviness of your arms. Notice if they feel light or heavy. What happens to your shoulders when you bring your arms above your head? And then bring your arms back down. Do they want to flop down or are you controlling them down? Are you holding your arms? Are you using your muscles? Or are you letting them flop down? If you want to have a go. Bring one arm up. Let one arm flop down and the other arm controlled down. So being mindful of how you're using your muscles. Being mindful of how strong you are, or maybe how weak you are. Is it a real effort having to lift those arms up? Or is it easy? And then bring the arms by your sides again. And just let them hang down. What sensations do you notice in your arms now? How do your arms feel? How do your shoulders feel after that movement? Feel free if you want to, just to circle them backwards. Feel free to wiggle your fingers. Maybe you notice a slight tingling in your fingers or the blood rushing down as gravity pulls your hands down to the floor. Good. Let's transfer our weight onto our left leg. We're not going to take our foot off. We're just going to see if we can take a little balance. Try and keep your eyes closed. Notice how your body responds to trying to stand on one foot. You don't have to take the foot all the way off, just taking the weight over. And then we're going to switch sides. And if you're sitting down, you can do this sitting in your chair, just transferring your weight from one side to the other. And really noticing the lightness through the free leg and the work and the heaviness through the standing leg. And then just transfer again. If you need to open your eyes, then do. It might make you feel a bit dizzy or nauseous. If you can manage with your eyes closed, you don't have to take your foot off. You're just transferring the weight. Just noticing. And then we're going to take the weight back to the center again. Both feet flat on the floor. Really being mindful of that sense of centering with both feet down. Becoming aware of your own body weight as you shift it from one side to the other. It's my creaky floorboard again. See if you can take one foot off. Controlling that balance. Excellent. Back to the center. And let's just notice again, check in with the body, how your shoulders feeling, your arms, your fingers. We're going to do a big whoosh. So we're going to bend the knees and take the arms all the way up. Reach up to the ceiling. Maybe you can reach up on your tiptoes. Bend the knees, flop down. All the way up. Reach up to the ceiling. Bend the knees and come down. And just keep that going. And you can do this seated in your chair as well. With the upper body. Rising to your toes if you can. And again, down we come. Good. And then coming back. Down again. All right, let's shake it out. Shake the arms and the legs out. Okay. What I want us, we're going to do one more exercise, a movement exercise. And you guys are going to go a little bit freestyle here. I'm going to encourage you eventually, when you feel comfortable, to just move how you want to. And what I want you to think about with your body, I want you to think of yourself as being like water, or actually not like water. You know, like seaweed or sea plants, like plants that are in the water, and you can, like reeds, and they would just move around really fluid. Imagining you're in water and you're a plant in the water, and coming down and bringing yourself back up again. However you feel, the water around you is moving. So it's a little bit, you might feel a little bit silly, that's fine. Or you might feel like, this is totally my thing, I love it. So be mindful of that as well. Be mindful of how your body is how you are feeling about doing this exercise as well. Okay, so we're going to start off down. We're going to imagine that we're like, there's no water, there's no current happening at the moment. This sea plant is just, you know, just sort of bobbing away at the bottom of the sea, or the bottom of the pond, or a river, or wherever you want to be. And then slowly the current starts to pick up, and we slowly start to move our bodies up, swaying side to side, or up and down. Get your arms involved, and just think about your body being really fluid through your hips, through your stomach, through your chest, your legs, and just moving really freely, as if this water is controlling your movement. And that's what we want to think of. We want to think of the water controlling our movement. So you just be as free as you want to. Woo! Great. And that current slowly starting to die down. And we slowly come back down to the bottom of the river or the seabed. And we just very lightly sway with the calmness of the movement of the water. And then bring ourselves back up as our human selves again. And stand back. Grounded, both feet on the floor, hands by your sides. And again, just be mindful of how your body feels now. Be mindful of how you found that exercise. Did you enjoy it? Did you feel silly? Did you want to keep going? Do you want to do it again? Okay. Just circling the arms, and let's come back together again. Feel free to share with the person you're with, or in your journals, or in the chat box if you guys are here with me now, about your experience. I'd like to know how you felt doing those tasks, whether you want to share about the balance tasks, whether you want to share about bringing your arms up and letting them go, the control we have over our body. We don't even think about that a lot of the time, do we? The control that we have over our body. Or maybe sometimes the lack of control that we have over our body. Sometimes our body moves and we don't want it to. Sometimes we want to be still and we can't. So all of these exercises are really, I think, helpful for allowing you to become more aware of how the brain and the body works together. So I'd love to know your thoughts on it and how you found it, and how you enjoyed being a sea plant or a reed or whatever they're called. I like the feel. I like using the water analogy, but sometimes I use it with the wind. Wind, like a tree in the wind. We can do that next time. So let me know. We've got someone feeling like a hula dancer. That's great. Just waiting for a few more comments. And if you're watching this as a recording, yeah, just have a little moment to reflect on that exercise and how you found that exercise for yourself. Very thirsty after all that that movement. Yeah, lovely. So yeah, I agree with that comment. You feeling silly at first. The thought of making yourself like seaweed and freestyling like seaweed is, I agree with you, it's a very silly concept. But yeah, once you got over your embarrassment, you enjoyed the feeling of moving like this. Yeah, lovely. My feet felt grounded to the floor and my body feels freer. Wonderful. Perfect. Yeah. So sometimes it is about putting ourselves in a vulnerable position where we feel like, oh, is this really what I want to do? But actually, sometimes those situations are the ones that allow us to be more free in our body and give us more confidence. And it's not about getting something right, especially with, I mean, how can you be right or wrong when you're trying to be a piece of seaweed in water? I don't know, you just do it, don't you? If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. Got a hula girl as well. What else have we got? Comments. Feel like Moana and Kilo and Stitch and Disney Princess. Lovely. You enjoyed the stretching and found yourself wanting to push yourself and not be mindful with that one. Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's really good. These are all great. And I think, especially with the movement exercises, we can really apply those things to the way that we think about our bodies, the way that we think about our capabilities, because we often, a lot of the stuff is in our heads about what we can do. We tell ourselves stories about ourselves that we sadly end up believing. But also we tell ourselves stories that are good stories that we also end up believing, and then good things come of it. So it really is, I mean, people say it's cliche, but the power of the mind, the power of thought, the power of your feelings and emotions, the thoughts have a really direct control over the way that our body responds and thinks and feels and moves. So yeah, it's difficult to let go of your inhibitions and just do something like that. But actually, the results are often really worth it. And ultimately, it's about you, me. It's about us doing something for ourselves and not about doing it for other people to judge us or enjoy us or tell us that was good, that was bad, that was indifferent. This is just about finding some ways to help us in the moment. So that's really great. I'm really glad, and thank you for doing that exercise with me. Otherwise I would have been a really lonely piece of seaweed. But I love doing that. That was really nice for me as well. So thanks Thanks for doing that with me. Okay, we are coming up to about 45 minutes. So I had a few other things I wanted to do today, but I would rather focus in on something than try and fit loads of things in. So let me just have a little look at, we focused on gratitude last week, didn't we? We were talking about gratitude last week and how we think being grateful affects us. And I think we all agreed that being grateful affects us in a positive way, and that if we are appreciative of the things that we have around us and the things that we have in our lives or things that we create for ourselves, we can find a lot of peace, especially if we're not feeling so good about certain things. We always have something to be grateful for. And we did an exercise last week where we just looked at something in our room, didn't we? Just something really simple that we look at every day. And we applied some gratitude to that thing, that object. And we found that actually there was much more to that object than we thought. So I could do it with, I don't know, this pen that's actually half broken. So I would consider throwing it away, but actually it still works really well. And it's helped me write this class out, and it's helped me plan for my next session with you guys as well. So I'm grateful for this pen. If I didn't have it, I'd have to keep it all in my mind, and then I'd forget stuff, and then I'd feel not so good. So a simple pen, I'm very grateful for. Thank you, pen. So yeah, we thought about that, didn't we? And I set you guys a little task. I don't know if you did it. Don't worry if you didn't. But I set you guys a task of applying mindful gratitude to a daily task that you don't like doing. Do you remember that? Do you remember I set that for you guys? So I said, if there's something that you don't like doing in your day-to-day routine, I want you to apply gratitude to it. And I want you to do the exercise, excuse me, mindfully. I want you to take the time to think about what the task is, why you don't like it. Like, you can call it out. You can be like, I don't like doing this. So I'll give you an example of mine. Hoovering. Oh, I hate hoovering. But I'm grateful for hoovering because if I didn't have the Hoover that I had, I wouldn't be able to, my house wouldn't be clean. I also am grateful for the Hoover that I have because I splashed out a year or two ago on a cordless Hoover so that I don't have to pull my Hoover along with me. So I'm grateful that I have a house to Hoover, a roof over my head to get dirty and then to clean again. So I'm applying gratitude to all of these things. So when I'm doing this task that I really don't like, I constantly apply gratitude. As I'm hoovering, I become grateful for the ability to hoover. I'm able to hoover. I'm able to get up and use my hoover. Some people can't hoover at all. Some people can't clean themselves. Other people have to clean. I'm grateful for the house that I have to clean. I'm grateful for the hoover that makes my hoovering easier. Yeah. So there's lots of different things. And also, as I go around the house, I can be mindfully grateful for the objects I'm hoovering around. And it makes the task a bit easier. So can you guys think of anything off the top of your head that maybe you did the exercise, maybe you didn't, and that's fine. You can do it this week. So we're being mindfully grateful. We're being grateful for something that we don't enjoy doing or we don't like doing. Have a little think. Write it in the chat box, have a chat with the person, write it in your journals. And those of you again that are joining on the YouTube, you can do exactly the same thing. And you can, doesn't have to be, I'll let you do it again this week. You can do it again this week. It's a really good practice to have. And it helps bring your thoughts of resentment and negativity into ones of gratitude and positivity. So it helps you do things that you don't want to do. So just wait for some of these feedback comments to come through. Oh yeah, washing up the dishes. Tell me about it. Oh, I've got a pile to do after this session, I tell you. How can I, right, I will reply. Let's see what you put. As soon as I do the washing up, the sink is full of stuff to wash again. Grateful to have clean dishes to eat food on, definitely. Grateful to have food to, have clean dishes to eat food on. Grateful to have food to eat. Grateful to have running water to wash our dishes, you know, so it goes on and on and on, and we can keep doing it. Okay, let's see another comment. I hate cleaning my bedroom as it took forever to clean, but I'm grateful for my bed. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful for my bed. I love my bed so much because I love sleeping in it. Yeah, me too. And when I leave the house, it made me miss my bed because I love sleeping. Yeah, exactly. So someone said to me once about, if you wake up in the morning, and I'll let you all into a secret, I'm really bad at making my bed in the morning. I'm terrible at making my bed in the morning. I'm like, but what a satisfying feeling to get in to a freshly made bed every night, as opposed to having to make your bed to get into it. So it's something that I have to. Some people, my sister, she will not leave their house. She will not leave her bedroom until her bed is completely pristine and made and fluffed up and everything. So we're really opposite like that. So, but she takes real pride in that, and it's something that she values a lot, and I get that. So yeah, I see what you're saying there with you hate cleaning your bedroom, but you're really grateful for the sleeping and your bed, and actually putting some mindful awareness into cleaning the things that are really valuable to us, like our homes or our crockery that we're eating off or our beds that we're sleeping in, then it has that knock-on effect. It makes us feel really good, and at the end of the day, it's almost like you've given yourself that gift. It's like, I've been kind to myself and I've made my bed for myself because I deserve a nice bed, and I've been kind to myself and I've washed my dishes because I deserve to have a nice clean house with clean dishes and etc. But yeah, it's not about being perfect with everything. It's just about bringing that mindfulness to daily tasks and bringing that gratitude to daily tasks, especially when we're like, I don't want to do something, or something doesn't make us feel excited or happy or wonderful, but you know, we can always apply that gratitude. So on that note, we are going to wrap it up today. But next week, let me just make a little note with my pen that I'm very grateful for. Next week, we're going to move on with the gratitude practice. And you guys are going to give yourselves, you're going to use gratitude to do some goal setting and bring some gifts to yourselves, to your lives that you deserve. So we're going to focus on that as well. We'll definitely, and well, I'll just check with you guys. Are you okay to do some more mindful movement next week? Did you enjoy the movement stuff? Awesome. So I'll circle that. I thought that was pretty fun as well. And yeah, we'll get some more stuff going. Have a go again at doing the gratitude practice. Have a go at being mindfully grateful for things that you don't necessarily enjoy, and think about other things. It doesn't have to be like washing dishes and hoovering and making beds. It can be anything at all. Jogging. I don't enjoy jogging, but some people do. Sitting in silence. Some people don't enjoy doing that. You're all shaking your heads. Yeah. How can you be mindfully grateful to be able to sit in silence? Think about that. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So those of you that are watching on the recording, we'll see you next week or whenever you're able to watch it. And yeah, we're always here, same time on a Wednesday at 4 o'clock. If ever you want to join us live, if not, I'll see you on YouTube.